So I want to move forward to one of the most iconic moments in Lakers history. 0.4 seconds on the clock, the Spurs game winner. Couple of questions, but specifically, how many times have you replayed that shot in your own head? And walk us through the huddle before that shot. Tell me what was going on, who the play was, written up for. What was going on in that huddle?
Replayed it in my mind. Like, it's really when I get asked about it, when fans, for so long, fans of it is that iconic moment, even though for me, I had mixed emotions about it because we didn't win the title that year. So for a long time, it reminded me of a down year, if that makes sense, because we lost in the finals to the Pistons. So I'm like, I don't want to be reminded of that shit, bro. Like, I do not want to remember 2004, but you can't escape the moment. Yeah, the play wasn't designed for me. And if you're on a team with Kobe and Shaq, the play is not for you. So
Give it real.
Yeah, there's no, I'm not mad about that at all either. So the play wasn't designed for me. It was really the gravitational pull that the two of those guys have by pulling players towards them. Like, I just kind of stood there and waited for the right moment to go to the open space. And I always give Gary Payton a ton of credit because he was taking the ball out, and most guys will force it to the superstars in that situation because they don't want to be the one that has to explain why you try to throw it to this dude as opposed to try to throw it to Kobe or Shaq. So I always give GP major love for making like what was the right basketball decision. It ended up working out, but a lot of dudes would have forced that ball to Kobe or Shaq.
To Kobe or Shaq, right?
Yeah, for sure. The huddle was pretty calm. Like, it was a veteran team. I think we were shocked, because it was a super low scoring game. We were ahead by double digits at one point in a really low scoring game. So we didn't really anticipate all of a sudden finding ourselves down by 1 point with less than 1 second left. So there was a little bit of shock. But it was the Spurs, and we had battled every year up to that point. Either they had won the title or we had won the title. If you go back to 99. So, tied up 2-2 on their home floor. If you lose game 5 by 1, like, yeah, it sucks. And we had it, but we had seen a lot by then. So we would have probably just come back to LA and mopped them up and then had to go back to San Antonio for game 7. Like, it is what it is. But the huddle was pretty calm. I think for me, I'll try to be quick. When I was in college, I was involved in a play where it was 0.2 seconds left on the game clock. And I was taking the ball out of bounds on the baseline. And we had a really athletic, wing player, like similar build as UP, like crazy athletic, long, like versatile forward. And, we kind of made eye contact, and I kind of gave him the little nod to the rim. Referee gave me the ball. He kind of stepped towards me, and then he spun out, and I threw the alley-oop right to the front of the rim, and he jumped up and just tipped it in. Game over. We win.
And it was good. Okay.
Is it footage of this? Is it footage of this? We need to know about this. I don't know if you're making this up now, Fish. Is it footage of this?
Nah, I mean, ask anybody at Mississippi State. I know they remember. that was the year they went to the Final Four.
That was a heartbreak.
Damn, 0.2 seconds. Damn.
Yeah. So in my brain, like, I had been involved directly in a situation where even with 0.2 seconds left, something could happen. I didn't know what. So just walking out there on the court at that time, you just never know, man. So I for me, just keeping my mind on where the clock is. When GP threw the ball, I knew I couldn't catch the ball behind me and then try to bring it in front of me. Like, time is over at that point. So almost like a football play where you have to let the ball go by you and catch it here. It was kind of that same thought of like the ball's coming from this way. So I let it get past my body so that I could catch it here and just go all up in one motion. And then it's just God working out with, I'm a lefty. the clock operator was behind the play. So the clock operator couldn't start the clock until you definitely see the ball has been touched. So then that also buys you another 0.1 seconds. You know what I mean?
Nobody
so
knew
it's just a lot of little things that.
So it didn't count. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It counted.
Sorry, I had to. I have one follow-up question on it though, because here we are 20 years later, we're still talking about that. And people knew who Derek Fisher was, but how much did that shot change your life? Because I would imagine
LA too. Yeah.
Like not that you weren't solidified, you guys have already won, but I have to imagine that shot changed the trajectory of just your life, your celebrityness, you as a basketball player, and you became probably a lot larger than life than what you were before that shot. What did it do to your life?
It was definitely, which is a funny experience to have because it's like, you'd already been on 3 championship teams, you'd 3-peat, been in the NBA for 8 years now. So for that moment to kind of like accelerate you into this, like, oh, now people really kind of know like a moment that's attached to your name. It was different. I mean, that was the year I had my first, not the year I had, but my oldest daughter was 2 years old basically when that moment happened. And so it was also the first like moment that registered in her brain of like, oh, like that's what daddy does. Like, and that people are talking about what dad does for his job. Like, so it was just a whole different life experience, after that, man. And then it all changed when I went to the Warriors in free agency a few months later. And then I found out what it's really like in the NBA outside of being on the Lakers. Like it was a whole different life.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 5 million members across the country, it's the most fun and exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and players.
You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed.
Whether you think Nico Collins will continue to get more targets or Justin Herbert passing totals will be a little light this week, Prize Picks has you covered on every option.
So make sure you guys go download the app today and use our promo code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. So you can finish the football season by downloading the app today and using our promo code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.